My story is a little bit maybe different, and it expands those 35 years. So in 1984, you'll remember that Amy Myers was here, and she was really working on the orphan drug legislation. She was the one who pioneered this, who wanted people to recognize that orphan drugs matter and people with orphan diseases matter a great deal. And that legislation sort of brought us all together and said, you're a village of rare diseases. At the same time, my sons were diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and I lived in Middletown, Ohio. I really didn't know about rare diseases then. Having been in medicine my whole life, I was really looking at more common diseases. I was looking at diseases like organ transplant for heart failure. I was looking at renal transplant for various renal diseases. But I didn't narrow down on a rare disease until my sons were diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So I was lost. I went to the bank that day they were diagnosed and borrowed $100,000 and said, I'm going to go find other people with this disease, people who are interested in this disease, and hopefully incentivize companies to come and study this disease and drive therapies. So as I did that and saw the orphan drug legislation really come into view, I think that empowered me to do those things. It empowered me to fake my name and my reputation and my degrees and go into the University of Pennsylvania and say I was a postdoc looking for a job so that I could understand who's here, who knows about this disease. What do they care about this disease? What do they know? It also empowered me to start a registry to understand who's got this disease and what do they look like, and do they look the same, and is it all boys, and is it some girls, and what is the progression of this disease as I was watching it in my own home. So the orphan drug legislation empowered people to know that they could be recognized, that they could collect data, that they could gather, and they could incentivize research by funding that research. So today we're going to talk about other effects of the rare disease legislation, and with that I'm going to introduce Emil Kakis.